Welcome back to the Dryden Theater page for another streaming recommendation. I am Jared Case, curator of the Dryden Theater and the George Eastman Museum, and I thought today we would go back in time about 82 years to the mysterious European country of Bandrika. Don't look on a map, it's not there. It's a fictional country, but it is the setting for Alfred Hitchcock's 1938 film The Lady Vanishes. This was at the end of his British period. Just 2 years later, he would be releasing Rebecca in the United States for Selznick. But this is definitely one of the classics, particularly of the sound era, that Hitchcock made in Great Britain, along with Young and Innocent, The Man Who Knew Too Much, and The 39 Steps. Essentially, the plot of this revolves around three people. It's Margaret Lockwood, Dame May Whitty, and Michael Redgrave. It's really Lockwood's story. She is a young woman who is traveling back to the UK from Bandrika to marry her fiancé, and she meets Dame May Whitty's character, Miss Froy, at the hotel the night before they get onto the train. They make a connection, and they decide to travel with each other, or at least help each other out. And unfortunately, Lockwood gets hit on the head, so she's suffering a concussion. And when they get onto the train, Miss Froy disappears. So it's a mystery as to why she's disappeared, and Lockwood's concerned for her. So she starts asking around and trying to find out where her friend has disappeared to. She engages Michael Redgrave in this pursuit. He seems to be the only one that believes her that this woman actually existed. In fact, other British passengers on the train have their own reasons for denying that this woman existed. So it's definitely of the era. It's pre-World War II Europe. There is a sense that people don't want to get involved with things that are going on, but they do have to combine forces in order to fight against a greater evil or against a plot. There's a definite sense of fun with Hitchcock's British films. You find a little bit of it in some of his American works, say The Shadow of a Doubt, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, The Trouble with Harry. But it seems like for his British films, particularly the sound films, there's a sense of fun and playfulness that is consistent throughout. And part of that playfulness is a pair of characters in this film. It's Charters and Charters and Caldecott, played by Naunton Wayne and Basil Radford. They are two British subjects who are traveling together, friends of a sort, and they talk about cricket constantly. There's a test match that's going on, and they're very concerned about what's going on, and they want to get back to Britain for the end of the match. They don't know the language, they find it difficult to get around, but they have such a rapport that those two actors were actually paired again in 10 other films. So they appeared in 11 films together based off the chemistry that they had in this one. So a typical Hitchcock film, these two lovebirds manage to get together and solve the mystery, go through the suspense of the film. But it's a light, wonderful film, about 95 minutes, that you're really going to enjoy, and you should go watch it on the Criterion channel. That's where it's streaming right now, and please come on back for another streaming recommendation.